Hello, this is Coach Colleen from Teentastic Families. Today we are talking about the topic, I wish my teen would talk to me like they used to. A lot of our teens, they all of a sudden shut down. And some of that's natural, it's okay. Teens do pull away. Mom and dad, you are not their best friend. So it's very hard to parent and to discipline and everything if you are their best friend. So for them to have other friends is perfectly natural. So let that happen, let them pull away to a degree, but you want to be careful too. If you think that it is because something happened to them, like a trauma of some sort, that is a whole different story than it being just a natural teenage thing of them pulling away. So look out for different symptoms. I talked about this trauma in a previous recording. It was on the topic of sudden personality change, and it was recorded November 4th. So look that up if you want to hear more about that. I did refer to a YouTube video by Krista Elisha. She's a Christian gal who went through trauma herself. And she has an amazing YouTube video about an hour long called From Trauma to Triumph. So you want to listen to this if you think your child has experienced trauma. And it can be anything from a severe disappointment to date rape to well, there's just so many things, right? A death in the family, something severe like that. So it can combine with other things like grief and things like that. But that's a great listen to find out more about if it could be trauma. Another reason teens can pull back is because of shame. Now that could be involved with the trauma, like say there's a date rape, there's a shame that comes on the girl that, or boy, I guess it's just more common with girls, where I should have known better, I should have realized I was in danger. I should not have trusted him. All this self-blame things, right? And that's just from, say date rape. There's shame from doing something stupid, like stealing. Kids, they dare each other to go and steal something. You don't have to be poor. It's just a dare thing. And so, and then afterwards realizing that they were tricked or just different things, or they feel the shame of that act. One big deal that's happening right now, it's in the news across America, US and Canada, is where teens are on the internet, whether it's Snapchat or it wouldn't be Instagram, but so some of these different media, where they're befriended by, say, guy their age, or and they look cute, and of course it's not somebody that age and it's an older man. And so they say, send me a picture, maybe of, just take your shirt off, and the girl has her bra on still. So it's not terribly risque. But then they say, okay, well, if you don't send me more photos, I am going to send this to all your friends. Well, they don't want them seeing, and then the embarrassment of that. And so then they give more photos just to stop this person. The thing is, that person is blackmailing then your child, and it's usually girls, blackmailing that if you don't want me to send this out to all your friends, that you send me more pictures. And they're all of a sudden nude pictures, and it gets worse and worse. And of course the blackmailing doesn't stop. Then they want money, and it's just a disaster. I heard of a girl that committed suicide because of it. Another person, I heard it in the news where I think it was a boy, where this person actually sent his pictures to all his family and friends, and he was horrified. And that's traumatic right there. And so please, parents, warn your teens about this, because this is real and this is live. It's today. November 30th is today, 2022. And so this is current stuff that's going on. And so warn your girls, warn your boys, your teens, that this is happening to both boys and girls. And so, yeah. Another one that brings about shame is, of course, pregnancy or loss of virginity. And this can make your teen be very quiet because they don't want to talk about it. There's shame. Oh my goodness, how did I do this? How did I let this happen? What am I going to do now? And if they withdraw, a severe withdrawing, and they're really quiet, it could be another reason. Or their grades have just tanked. They're finding a subject really hard, maybe that they used to find easy, and now all of a sudden, oh my goodness, what's happened? Maybe they were sick for a while, missed some classes, and just can't get back on track. But they used to always be a good student, and so they almost sometimes have a reputation to keep up. They're the smart one in the family, maybe. And so they feel that they have to keep that place in the family, and they don't want to admit when they are struggling. And so that's a pressure they might have put on themselves, or it just was, through your praises of, oh yay, good job, and you think you're praising them, and you are, but it can also put on a pressure that I'm the smart one. I can't admit that I'm struggling. So there's that. Also, bad relationships at school, could be girlfriends, boyfriends, or being bullied. That's such a terrible thing that goes on everywhere. I don't care who you are. And so how do you get your teen to talk to you? It is really hard sometimes, especially with certain kids. So I've said before in other videos that a great time to talk to your teen is when you're driving with them. And you could even just say, I'm going to keep driving, because if you're driving them to the mall or to a friend's house, and just say, I'm not actually going to go to that friend's house, until you answer one question for me. You could do that, which seems a little bit, manipulative, but, sometimes desperate times calls for desperate measures. Just be careful what you ask for, right? Reassure your teen, even as you're driving, if they're not wanting to answer your questions, you can say, you can talk to me about anything. I won't get mad. And then you cannot get mad. If you say that and they tell you, don't get mad, just say, okay, we can work through this. We'll find a solution. Like your new motto, parents, when you have teens, your new motto should be in your brain, don't freak. Don't freak, Colleen, don't freak. Tell yourself, don't freak, because that will shut them down. Okay, you have to be able to hear something, even if it's hard, and just say, you can be sympathetic. Just say, oh gosh, that must have been so tough, or you must have felt terrible. Like, you can sympathize, but don't get angry at them. Like, what were you thinking? They're already thinking that. Okay. Another thing you can say, I won't be ashamed of you. We all get tricked. And you can even tell your own story of something that happened to you, or something foolish you did, and you didn't even realize it at the time, or maybe you did and you thought that the results wouldn't be that bad. So telling your own story will often open up and let others admit they weren't so smart. I was with a bunch of teenagers last night, and at our youth group at church, and I told a story of something I've did, and just even 7 years ago, and how I wish I could have done it differently now, but and it was amazing how that opened up, and they told me their stories. right? So it's, you open the door by telling your own stories, even if it's a hard story and it's embarrassing or it's hurtful, you were very hurt. Just by being vulnerable gives them permission and allows them to be vulnerable too. Can also say, the devil doesn't try anything new, and he doesn't. He just changes it up. Now it's social media, right? In our day, parents, it wasn't social media. It was other things, right? And so just with each generation, he just changes his tools in his toolbox, and Satan just keeps trying the same old things over and over again, just with a different look. You can tell them you are not alone. You can come to me. And again, parents, you have to, then when they do come to you, don't freak and just, okay, we can work this out. Pray with them, pray with your teen, ask God for help, because sometimes only he can find the answer. But in working at it together, it'll give them the support they need, and it'll make your relationship richer as well. And to say, I love you, never gets old. And to tell them God loves them. Even when we screw up, God still loves us. And they need to know that. Nothing they can actually do what causes us not to love them. It's because we love them that we hurt or we're disappointed. And you know what? It's okay to admit that you're hurt or disappointed in them, but not at the moment. Not when they're just have laid out their heart and bared their heart. Okay, be there, support them, say, we will figure this out, or we will get help. We will get somebody to help us figure this out. Okay, and so just be that support for them. And some of these tips will be able to help you to talk to your teen. You can even talk to them in, like, go to their room if they just won't come out of the room and they don't even leave the house anymore, it seems like, and you're not driving anywhere. I just find driving is a great time where you're not looking at each other, right? It's just side by side, and so you kind of glance at each other, but you're both looking out, and it's just non-threatening. It's much easier to talk in the vehicle, especially if you're alone, the two of you. All right, that is it for this video. Again, if you want to catch more of my videos, hit subscribe down below, the subscribe button, hit the subscribe button and the notification button, because that'll let you know when I have released a new video, and I do them weekly. So if this has really helped you, you don't want to miss the next one, press the subscribe button. All right, you can also get a hold of me by email, teentasticfamilies@gmail.com. That's teentastic is like fantastic, except it's TEEN tastic, TASTIC, families@gmail.com. And I have a Facebook page. You can look me up there. I do offer free 45-minute strategy sessions, and so you can email me if you would like one of those. And yeah, that's me. I'm Coach Colleen with Teentastic Families, and we'll catch you next time.